Monday morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is a good week. It's an exciting week. It was a good weekend.
It's Monday again, girl. It's Monday. Good morning. Happy another week. Another
Happy
week.
another week.
We all live to talk about it on Monday, so you know it is what it is.
It is. And why is this week an exciting week, Melina?
Red River Rivalry.
That's
This,
right.
I
For those
mean,
who don't follow
Saturday.
football, it is Red River Rivalry this weekend, which is when Texas takes on OU.
At
Um,
the Cotton Bowl,
at the Cotton Bowl during the Texas State Fair.
the greatest state fair ever. I'm so excited. So we're going to talk about a lot of that on Friday, right before the game.
Yes.
But girl, we have a lot of football to talk. I know we usually talk a lot of your hockey,
hmm
but let me tell you, this weekend was hot on the college
It
football.
was. It was a hot off the college football field as well.
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, so tell me what you found out about Vanderbilt.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all knew this, but Vanderbilt played Alabama and absolutely stomped them, um, making it a crazy win against Alabama, who is the number one, who was, sorry,
Was, let's
was,
just
was
was.
the number one ranked team. Um, they won. And so the Vanderbilt fa fans, I guess, were running on adrenaline, happiness, whatever you want to call it. And they managed to tear down a goalpost, which, if you've ever seen a football field goalpost, those things are huge and heavy. Tore it down, carried it through downtown Nashville, which is like Broadway, which is like one of the busiest streets on a Saturday night. um Friday, Saturday night, whatever you want to call it. And then carried it roughly 3 miles and then threw it into the Cumberland River.
Do you can you I saw the pictures and I was so hyped for it. This was the biggest win and now for the fans and the students and the players and all that.
Yeah.
In their defense, Vanderbilt, it was the biggest win in program history. Uh,
hmm
and so it was their first win ever over a number one ranked team. So that says a lot, right? So
It does, yeah.
you get why they
Why
were
they were hyped.
but not only that, it was the first time in SEC history that two of the top five teams this weekend lost to unranked
I
opponents on the
saw
same
that.
day. So Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. And then who did I tell you on Friday I wanted to lose because they had beat us? That would be the Tennessee Vols, who did lose to the Arkansas Razorbacks. So do you think that helped Melina's spirit a little bit on Saturday?
Yes.
Absolutely. Talking about continuing on with college football, college game day went to Berkeley. It
hmm
was the first time ever that it had college game day had visited Berkeley. The fans started lining up at midnight. The
That's
show, they opened
crazy.
the gates at 3:30 and the show started at 6 a.m. California time. So you got to imagine they were there from 12 to 6, right? Then the show started, then they did it. Now the game was Saturday night. The game
Yeah.
was like at 9:30, I think, 8
Yeah, but you
9:30
know
there.
these people were partying all day. They were tailgating like nobody's
So,
business.
so by the time, and this is kind of funny, those fans and those students were probably so drunk or passed out that they didn't really trip the fact that Berkeley lost to Miami after that celebration. So, but it
Yeah.
was the point of view that I saw when I was watching College Game Day was freaking amazing at the amount of students that went to this, the fans, all of it. But it was the first time they had ever
Gone
been
to
there.
Berkeley.
Georgia beat
hmm
Auburn. This is 8 times in a row now. This is
That's
like a Texas
crazy.
OU rivalry. but different schools. So this one, and we'll have all those stats and facts on Friday, right before the big kickoff on Saturday. Aggies were over Missouri. Um, they won 41-10, I believe, and then that 31 point win was the largest win margin ever versus an AP top 10 opponent in program history.
That's crazy. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn the Aggies have jumped up in the rankings because of that.
No, because SEC, Big 12, and they're SEC, but Big 12, it sometimes
Oh,
it
okay.
ranks them different. It doesn't.
It
So
makes no sense to me.
I know, but there's different levels per
Yeah.
se, like the tougher levels, right? So just so that we know, the AP top 10, top 20, because we always do the 20. And we're always hoping that our and my blue loss, dude, but nonetheless. Number one, Longhorns. Number two,
Let's
Ohio.
go, baby.
Number three, Oregon, which is where College Game Day is going next week. Number four is Penn State. Number five is Georgia. Number six is Miami. Number seven. So they fell from number one from
They feel like
Grace to
six
number
slots.
seven. They fell 6 spots. Was Alabama. Number eight is Tennessee. They can sulk together. Number nine is Ole Miss. Number 10 is Clemson. 11 is Iowa State. Uh, the Notre Dame is number 11, LSU 13. Where's 12? I don't know where 12 is. 12,
It disappeared.
it disappeared. It disappeared. Okay,
14.
so yeah, 14, 13 is LSU, 14 is BYU, 15 is A&M, 16 is Utah, 17 is Boise State, 18 is Kansas State, 19 is Indiana, and 20 Oklahoma.
Let
So
me
we
tell
got
you,
number one versus number 20.
it
Okay.
feels so good to be back on top.
So enjoy it, because if it's up to me and my
We would fall.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. You have
I
no idea.
know.
But I am preparing myself mentally, because you can't be at the top all the time, right? You just
We
can't.
weren't. We weren't last week.
No, but you were only one down. So we're
That's
going
true.
in on Friday as 1
Hmm.
and 20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If 20 knocks off one,
That's gonna be insane.
so it makes me excited. So and then what else? I think that's it for any
College
of the
football.
college football. Yeah, it's a lot, dude. It's a lot. I don't even know how many
It
minutes
is.
we've been talking about football right now. But it's a lot. So go with your point of choice.
All right. So, anyone who's been listening for the last couple of weeks, I've been mentioning the Devils and Buffalo's first season openers in Prague. They played Saturday and they played Friday and Saturday, and what a glorious time it was. The New Year's, New Jersey Devils. I'm just so excited.
You get so
Came
giddy like I do with college football. Like I could sit here and just be like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah."
The Devils came away with 4 points, which if you don't know hockey, which you don't know the point schedule, or the point system. So every regulation win is 2 points. And we'll go more into that like maybe next podcast, next episode of what like the system is and everything. But so they got 2 points for Friday's game and 2 points for Saturday's game. So they are coming home with 4 points right now. Which means they're first in the league, but I mean they're going to be first because they're the only two teams that have played. Um, but it was
So
a really, really
I'm sorry, is it like levels of competition that they get
mm-mm.
two for one, or is it
No.
just
So if you win a game in regulation, you get 2 points. If you
so
win a game in
how about win
overtime,
it?
it's 1 point.
Okay. See, that's all you have
So
to say. I get it
yeah,
now.
so it's different. Like win a game in overtime, in regulation, you lose a game, XYZ.
Okay.
Um,
See,
so
I
that
learned
happened.
something. I'm so excited. When they win in regulation, they get 2 points. If they win in
Yes.
overtime, they only get 1 point.
Yes. Um, Let me verify that real quick because I'm saying that and I'm like, what if that's not correct? Which,
Oh, trust me, if it's not correct, somebody will come on and tell us that we're not
oh
correct.
my God, no, I lied. I so lied. They get 2 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime or shootout win, and then 1 point for a loss, an overtime loss. That's where it came in. I was like, you get a
Okay.
point, you get 1 point for something. That's what that is. So anyway, all that to say
So
is they're
instead of
playing
you
home
either get two or one at the end of a
or
game, no matter
zero
what.
or zero.
Okay.
If it's just regulation, like there's no overtime, there's no shootout, whatever team loses gets 0 points.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
See,
And
brought to you
then
by Girl Talk Sports Talk. You just learned something.
those points will then determine like
Rankings.
rankings, trophies, essentially like Stanley Cup contenders, all
So
that fun stuff.
really, yeah, you really, really in the basic world just want to win all your games in
Yes.
regulation. You do not want to go into overtime. You do not want to go into shut. So now what's going to happen for me is when I watch hockey with you or when I watch hockey in general, I'm going to be really
Uh-huh.
mad if it goes to a shootout because that means both teams then
Get a
actually
point.
get a point,
Yeah.
if not 1.2 points.
Hmm.
And logistically in my brain, it's like, no, you either take two or none. Like, don't give the other team an option to.
Honestly, sometimes that 1 point will make or break it because those wild card slots, like it's just a whole thing, Melina. Like I
Ooh,
could say,
ooh.
like when
Okay.
Stanley Cup time, just wait. We'll
Mm.
go through the rankings. But and then also mentioned Seamus Casey made his NHL debut on Friday, which is a super exciting thing. And then on Saturday he scored his first NHL goal, which is super exciting. And also just kind of like a surreal thing for those rookies who get to play in their games.
Hmm.
Sometimes rookies don't get their first goal for, a couple more games. He got his in the second. Um, and I know Luke Hughes got his in this first, so it's really exciting for these guys to go out there and get that. And then Markstrom, who's our new goalie that we traded during the off season, makes an outrageous save like the first minute of the game, and it is crazy because he like saved it once, it rebounded. The Buffalo Sabres players went to knock it in, and he just reached behind him and just swatted it away. It was so stinking cool. Like it is definitely already in the work, like talkings of being like the save of the year.
Nice.
It's so crazy. Um, but so that kicked off NHL season, and then it will continue and officially start for all the other teams tomorrow, Tuesday. With the Blues taking on the Krakens, the Bruins taking on the Panthers, who are the reigning Stanley Cup champions, and then the Blackhawks versus Utah, which is super exciting because it's Utah's first official game, because they came into the league this off season. And then speaking of Utah, also exciting, they've officially named their captain, which we talked about this, a couple episodes ago. It's exciting and always just like an honor for these players to be named captain, especially for a first year team. Their captain was named Clayton Keller, who was part of the Arizona Coyotes that came over in the trade from Arizona to Utah. He's a fabulous player. And I really think that that's kind of what this team needs is him. So right now, 31 out of 32 teams have captains.
That's awesome.
The only one that still has not named their captain is the Seattle Kraken, which is um one of the more recent expansion teams. I want to say they were the last new team. It's either them or Vegas, and I can't remember. I think it's Seattle. So they're the only ones that haven't named their captain. But hopefully we'll soon have 32 captains for 32 NHL teams.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, and then I know you mentioned something about a series coming out or
Yeah,
something.
okay. Oh my God, I'm so excited about the series. Um, so Amazon and the NHL partnered together and kind of did this docu-series, which officially dropped this past weekend on Friday, actually, afternoon. And it's called Face Off Inside the NHL. And this series takes fans behind the scenes, following about roughly 11 players through a 6 episode series. And these players are some of like the league's biggest stars. So you have everyone from Quinn Hughes to Connor McDavid to David Pastrnak to Jeremy Swayman, who just signed an 8-year, multi-million-dollar deal today. Um,
How do we get those gigs?
I
How do
don't
we get?
know. Um,
We're
so
just two girls that love sports and podcasts and girl talk, and I just
no,
need to know how to get an $8 million deal.
no, really. And then it also follows William Nylander, who's from Toronto Maple Leafs. And then just some other couple players, Philip Forsberg, Jacob Trouba, Jack Eichel, which was part of the Vegas team. So it is really cool. And then the series wraps up with a 2-part episode showcasing the Panthers versus Oilers Stanley Cup final, which was a huge thing. So the last two of the episodes will take fans behind the scenes, which I feel like has not been done during the Stanley Cup final, which is like the hardest trophy to win in all of sports.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, my stars have had it a couple of times. I'm just saying.
We keep trying. Maybe it'll be our year. It's been a rough. We keep inching further and further. Like we were
Yep.
the Reference Conference Finals. We were the Reference Western Conference winners this past year, which is huge because the year before that went out in the first round, which is really disappointing to Vegas, who then won the Stanley Cup. But closer and closer, we have a lot of young stars. They've made moves, sending a couple of the training camp rosters back down to the Texas Stars. Um, so we'll see.
Oh, interesting docu-series.
Yes.
Those are always fun to watch. I know that
Yeah, they
wrestling just
are.
put one out, and but I like docu-series. I really do like documentaries because I like facts and stats and the real story and the real things behind them.
Well, I definitely think you should watch this one.
Oh, I will. Trust me.
I've watched the first one, I think 3 no, 2 episodes. I'm in the middle of the third one, which I believe is the one that it had. No, there's three. I've watched three. I'm in the middle of the fourth one.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I will have to catch up for sure.
All right.
Okay,
And
so
before,
I think yeah.
yeah, before we go into a mental health moment, we're gonna hear a quick word from one of our sponsors. Want to know what's going on in Corpus Christi? Make sure you check out cceventscalendar.com. That holds all of the events going on for the entire month. New are added daily. And again, that is cceventscalendar.com. Okay. So
We
today's mental health moment.
Let me give you
We're
all the
gonna
disclaimer. We are not mental health experts, but we are mental. No, I'm joking. So we like to talk about mental health because we know that it's a real thing. And for those people that feel like they are shamed or alone, we want to emphasize that you are never alone and there are resources out there. So we talk about mental health. If there's something that's going to trigger it, we will always warn you. But other than that, we try to keep it lighthearted and things to help give back to the community. So, what's our topic today?
So it is called the Big Five.
The big five.
The Big Five. And so research has been done and it continues to point towards a handful of basic lifestyle factors that help build the strong, not just physical, but mental health. Um, and according to the mental health literacy site, there
Mhm.
are 5 big aspects that you could build upon to maintain a strong mental health. So number one is restorative sleep. Obviously, sleep is the best thing for your body. It's the time that you can kind of rest, relax, and it gives your body time to heal. And then getting good enough quality sleep can help you tackle anything from work, classes, or life's everyday challenges, they do state that at least getting at least 7 hours of sleep per day also helps boost your immunity and maintain your physical health.
Yes. And then another one is physical activity. And I've gotten out of the consistent habit of doing it all the time. But I do it still. And I'm not as vocal about it anymore because I figure that it's my own journey. So I can share when I want to share and things like that. But adding physical activity to each day can help you. It does. And I know that it does. That sweat,
Oh yeah.
that, that boost that you need in the morning for your mood. I know that when I get a good sweat in through the day, whether that's first thing in the morning or in the middle of the day or in the evening, that I feel better. My body feels better, and I do get more sleep because I rest better because
Yes.
I've released whatever toxins or tried to release some toxins.
Mhm.
And then what was one of the other ones?
Healthy eating, which is what I've been trying to do recently. Eating a balanced diet can help fuel your body and mind, and many studies have shown a link between a healthy diet and reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. I
Mhm.
feel like this is definitely a big one for me. Because one, eating healthy, it just makes me feel a lot better. It doesn't make me feel bloated and ugh. But also when I get anxious or depressed, I will eat like sugary foods and vice versa. I feel like sugar, it just makes me worse.
Mhm.
Um, so definitely been working on drinking less sodas, eating a lot better. And then it's just a good way to stay healthy.
Well, that and sugar, what people, and I've had to figure it out on my own journey,
Mhm.
is sugar takes you up. And then when you come
It's a
down,
crash.
yeah, and then you want to do it again. So, like for me,
Hmm.
people laugh because I'll drink 3 or 4 Cokes a day, and I know it's not healthy. I know it. I know that it's not, but it's that sugar. So when I cut them all out and just stick to Diet Coke or water, I'm so much better because I'm not going up and
Up and
down
down, yeah.
or looking for it. Another one is social connections, spending time with family and friends and community. It can reduce stress and provide a sense of belonging. There's many ways you can connect with others, whether it's in person or virtually. I'm not a big texter. I never have been. I don't like it because I think that it's tone. I think you can get misunderstood on tones is
Yeah.
texting, and I'm one of a talker. Let's just hurry up and say what we got to say instead of everybody questioning each other. What do you mean by that? And what do you mean by this? Okay, let's just talk real quick and get it handled. But social connections is really important, and I can honestly say I have a healthy circle of social connections depending on what my mood is for that day, whether it's my church family or my church girlfriends or my girlfriends that go and hang out with me on the beach or my girlfriends that like to go to lunch and sit down and eat chips and queso. But having those social connections
Yeah.
is important. It's very important. And a lot of people close themselves off, I think, because they get hurt or whatever. And it's not healthy. That's not a
Yeah.
healthy thing.
Yeah. And the last one is helping out. So helping others adds to your sense of purpose, connection, and well-being. And whether that means going out and helping in your community or going and helping a friend move or watch a kid or whatever, just sort of giving anything that kind of gives you a sense of purpose, is a good mood booster. I know that when, my friend can call me and be like, "Hey, can you please watch my girls?" I'm like, "Yes." And it's an immediate like serotonin boost when I get to see these girls. Uh, so helping out, social connections, healthy eating, physical activity, and sleep is all good for your mental and
Top
physical
five, yeah. And
well-being.
helping out, I mean, volunteering. You're never going to hear me not encourage volunteering with pet organizations, children's organizations, elderly organizations, military organizations. Helping out others really takes the focus off of yourself and your struggles and your things and it does give you a sense of purpose and it does help build ties, local community ties. So,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So, and now, oh, before our last topic, because it's going to be a little bit longer. But we'll go ahead and take a quick message from our sponsor. Are you looking to grow your business and increase your brand visibility? become a sponsor with the Girl Talk Sports Talk podcast. Our sponsorship opportunities offer you a unique chance to connect with our dedicated fan base and community. Let us help you elevate your business name and reach new heights. Contact Melina or Mikayla today to learn more about how you can get involved and make a lasting impact. Join us and watch your business thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the hot topic, it's not a hot topic really. It's I'm going to tie it in with voting. Today is the last day to register to vote for the election, for the major election that's coming up on November 5th. And I wanted to just go over a couple of little things. It is a hot topic because people talk about mail-in voting, early voting, voting on the day of, all of the things, but I'm going to ask you a question, Mikayla, because I'm going to see if you know this, because I didn't know this. Do you know who the first woman governor of Texas was?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I thought you would say somebody else's name, but it was in 1924. The female's name was Miriam A. Ma Ferguson. She ran on the platform of opposing the KKK and advocating for reforms, and that was back in 1924. I thought it was Ann Richards until I found that last bit of tidbit
I'm gonna
info.
tell you right now, history was not my strongest point in school.
It's not mine either, honestly. But voters, 41% are um, Anglo, 39.3% are Latinos, and 12.4 make up the of African Americans make up the voting population. Fun facts: 18 to 29-year-olds lean more Democrat, 65 plus lean more Republican, which is crazy to me because that means between 30 and 65 is that whole gap of split down the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do lag behind national average of voters participation. Texas has 254 counties that bring 40 electoral votes to the table when it's time for the president. We have the most of any state. This is a hot topic, and this part of it is each county administers their elections locally, which contributes to the large variation in the way the voter turnouts happen and the results. So there's not a consistent across the board as a county. This is what you need to do from beginning to end. This is what basically they give them the rules and say figure it out instead of everybody conforming to the same thing, right? So your small counties would be really hard,
Yeah.
honestly. And then the Texas level will vote. So there's some big races going on this one. There's our U.S. Senator Ted Cruz is
Mm-hmm.
being challenged by somebody, and then we have 38 U.S. House seats in Texas, and Texas is being considered again a battleground state because it's so down the middle right now.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, they saw the highest voter turnout in Texas with 11 million votes. So I'm thinking that 2024 is probably going to be more than that. I don't know. It might be less. In 2016, there was 2 million votes. Another big race, just again, is the Texas Railroad Commission. And despite its name, I thought it would have, I thought it had something to do with like the railroad, and it doesn't. It has, and I'm like, well, we don't even have railroads here, but it's a powerful position in Texas because it regulates the state of the oil and gas industry, and you know that's a hot topic in
Oh
Texas.
yeah.
That is so that is going to be a big race as well. So hot topic, voter registration, mail in, all of that. And then if you're not, you need to check because today is the last day in Texas that you can register to vote and have your voice heard. And that's all I got for that hot topic, girl. 254 counties, though, that's a lot of counties in this
We're a big
state.
state.
We are a big state. We cover a lot of
Ground.
ground.
Yeah.
But it's just all very interesting to me the more I learn about it, and
Yeah.
the lack of knowledge people have. And it's not even college versus non-college. It's just people in general. It's
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean? It's just like,
They
oh,
take a lot of things with a grain of salt, or they trust what's being told to them.
right, right. And so, like I said, when it was a Texas Railroad, I will never forget that now, right? I will, because here I'm thinking ahead, I'm like, why is that a big
Why do
deal?
we have a railroad commission?
Like, we don't have a lot of railroads in the state of Texas. Like, what are we talking about here? And then I was like, so I'm sure I'll get some flack when people actually listen to us about that, but I'm okay with that because I educated myself on it. I found out what it really
What it
meant.
actually
So
was, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So, but I think it's, oh, what else do we got? What else do we got?
so the final thing, I like I said, I've been doing past couple episodes.
Rewind.
Um, today, today in sports. So today in 1972, sticking to my hockey theme, the first New York Islanders NHL game happened at the Nassau Coliseum where they played Calgary Flames, and the Flames won 3-2.
Well, I will tell you that that is 52 years ago today because that was the year I was brought into the beautiful world that we live in. So I know exactly how many
How
years
long
ago
ago
that
that
was.
was?
Yeah, so happy birthday to this day in sports. Happy 52nd to the New York,
Uh,
who was it?
the New York Islanders,
Oh yeah, but the Calgary Flames won
Flames.
against them 52 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. But it was the New York Islanders' first game,
First
which now
game.
they don't play at the Nassau Coliseum. They play at the USB Arena. UBS? USB. What? What?
That's a cord. A USB?
No, it's literally called the maybe it's UBS Arena. UBS Arena, 100%. I'm
UB.
dyslexic. Don't come for me.
All right. Well, this week I know we're closing out. It's time for us to wrap it up. But this week, the Corpus Christi ISD is holding their school board luncheon, CCISD school lunch thing, and then the port state of the port is this Thursday, and I will be
Interesting.
attending that because that stuff is so fascinating to me for Corpus. It really, really, really is because I don't think people in the coastal bend really understand the amount of opportunities that are here in this area. I just
Yeah.
don't. You can't see it and not do something about it, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah. And then as always, if you enjoy listening to us, make sure you rate us and like us on Spotify and follow us on Spotify and YouTube as well as Instagram. Um, and then we are not just audio anymore. We're video.
I know, and I didn't realize this when it happened that on Spotify our video plays too. I did not know.
Yeah.
I thought it was only going to be our one. So yeah, so I'm excited. We've got some good reviews, guys. Just please like and share us. That really helps us out. Spread the word. If you have any fascinating women in your life that you would like to have them exposed to the digital world and all of that, then please have them reach out to us.
Yeah. And this is Mikayla.
This is Melina.
And remember, sports are for girls too.
Whoop, whoop.